السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. أخيرا بالكستان رقدا وريسان كسو دواذا برنامج كيني Gurmad oo aalaabad uga barateen habeen kasta oo xada ay sii baxayso caawa bishu waa 26 bishii July 2016 akhyaar halka waxaan ku haynaa looyarad aad iyo aad u qaali ah oo magaceeda la yiraahdo MUDASAR Arani oo ka shaqeynaysay xagga iyo looyarnimada dad badan oo wadankan xagga criminality-gana u noqotay representative muddo laga joogo 25 sano waxay ku dhex jirtay arinta qoftaas aad u yeelateen inay arimaha xagga sharciyada criminalka ama dambiyada ama xagga familiyada ama xasaska in ay maaragtay advice naga siiso insha Allah marka ayadan marka hore ku soo dhaweynayna su'aalo weydiin banaayeen inaad Soomaali lagu soo weydiisaan ama English aad nagu weydiisaan laakiin waxaan ku hadli doono insha Allah waa English. Okay, this is a Gurmad program which you watch normally every Sunday, and mostly we conduct with Somali language. But fortunately tonight we have MUDASAR Arani, who have been working a legal professional over 25 years, and she's going to give some advice and she will tell us about her professional when she started and what she does for the public of UK. So let me first welcome to Mrs. Arani or Miss Arani, Miss MUDASAR Arani. Welcome to the program. This is a program that we I air every Sunday when we talk about the social life of UK. And also I have a great supporter, Mr. Sahal Ali, who always participates for the program in every Sunday. Welcome both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shall I ask you this question first, Mrs. Arani? What can you tell us about the importance of rule of law and to the marginalized and disadvantaged community in UK?
It's important for people to know what their basic rights are, not just in respect of criminal law, but also in respect of the family law. Because if you don't know what your rights are, you're not able to obtain the appropriate remedies from the courts in order to assist you. So you're looking at, for example, if you're looking at domestic violence for women who are subjected to domestic violence, normally it tends to be women, but you do have men who also suffer from domestic violence. For example, if somebody suffers from domestic violence, you have the right to obtain civil remedies as well as criminal remedies from the courts. One of the things you can do is you can obtain an injunction from the civil courts, the county courts or the magistrates' courts, where the person isn't able to come near you, isn't able to assault you, isn't able to harass you, threaten you, intimidate you, or anything of that nature. And so those injunction orders, when they're obtained from the courts, once they're served on the other party is bound by them. If the other party breaches them, then they can be held in contempt of court, and also they could be prosecuted in the criminal courts as well. It's very powerful court orders that one can obtain for assistance.
Can you tell us about the separation between the families when the couple sometimes fight? Who's going to keep the children, or sometimes divorce? So can you tell us a bit about how they're going to solve the family when they, for example, domestic violence happens in many parts of UK, how they deal with that? I mean, if the man wants to keep his wife, but the wife doesn't want to stay with her husband, and the children is around there, so how the laws works around those areas?
It's quite a complex area. You have to look at how each partner behaves when they're subjected to domestic violence. In some cases, both parents can continue to live in the house. In some cases where the domestic violence is quite aggressive or severe, where the one partner can be ousted or excluded from the house. And that means that the mother normally tends to be in the house. I will use the mother as an example. if she's been subjected to domestic violence, she will live at home and with the children, and the husband could be excluded from the house, and so he would have to live elsewhere. What happens in those circumstances is an agreement can be made between the mum and the dad with regards to seeing the children. If an agreement isn't made, then the parties have to instigate proceedings in court to be able to see the children. The first stage is mediation, where you go to a mediator to see if matters can be resolved without parents having to go to court. But if matters can't be resolved in that way, then the only other recourse is to issue proceedings in court and to obtain a court order. Now then, there's been loads of changes where the legal aid situation is concerned. The party who has the domestic violence injunction can carry on getting legal aid to, if they qualify for means, to go on to get an injunction for the children matter. In this example that I've given you, where the father say has an injunction against him, he won't qualify for legal aid. The law has changed quite substantially. So fathers are disadvantaged.
When did they change? Is it
They changed 2013.
Or 2013?
Yeah, April 2013. Before, that wasn't the criteria. Anybody and everybody, if they qualified with their means, could apply for legal aid. Both parties used to apply. But because the government is cutting down on legal aid, they say that the only person who can get legal aid is if you can prove violence. And the person who has had violence used against them, they can get an injunction, or they can get social services letter, or a police letter, or a medical letter from their doctor to show that they've suffered violence. And that triggers them being able to get legal aid. Whereas the other party who's alleged to have done these things, unfortunately, does not get legal aid for the injunction matter, does not get legal aid for the children's matter.
So he has to finance himself.
Yes, that's where there's a big problem in the community now. Because what you have now is you have a lot of people who are not represented, and unfortunately those people who don't know the system, can't speak the language, don't know how to go and issue proceedings, are actually suffering a lot, which is very, very unfair for the other party. So if mum doesn't agree, father is stuck. If father can't speak the language, can't go and represent himself in court, doesn't have the money,
that
he
is totally...
He will lose.
Yeah, that makes him lose the case.
Yes, and you see, that is the sad factor, because what people lose sight of is the fact, okay, mum and dad may argue, but who suffers if the children doesn't get to see either parent?
Yeah.
And it will have a long-term impact on the child, because if the child is absent from the father, for example, in this example, is absent from the child's life.
Yes.
In the long term, he will never have a father figure.
That has a negative impact on the child's ability to grow successfully.
Yes, and then that child unfortunately will go on to suffer, not knowing what a father is, not knowing, not having a male in the family, not having a role model. So there's a lot of children who unfortunately don't get to see their fathers. It's sad, but there isn't anything much anybody can do.
Is there any hope that they're going to change it? Or an opposition group who says, look, we're fathers and we can't say our children and our children needs. So what the government can do, or what is the law? Is there any new implementation about that?
Nothing, just it's cut.
It is, unfortunately, it's really sad state of affairs, because we see a lot of people who can't represent themselves, who can't get legal aid, they can't get any help. It's really sad.
So what just what I wanted to say, Sister MUDASAR, I think it's a great honor to have you on this program, and I think with your knowledge and experience for over 25 years, I think we will try to make most of out of it. I think what is happening here, with the subject our colleague raised it, the significance of law to marginalized society. I think we have an issue that I want to put on the table, which is a lot of us are too afraid to raise cases, and they just keep things within themselves. So I think what as experienced lawyer would like to tell to the people, I have seen a case where there was a police mishandling of a situation, and we came to a conclusion that we needed to raise the issue legally against those officers. But the mother in the end was too afraid and had a notion that if the race is cased against the police, there may be reprisals and something might happen. That is one thing. The other thing, we have on daily basis people complaining about that they have been being stopped at the airport, detained for unusual number of hours. People has been taking their children away, and I think in that process they have been dealt harshly. So there are children who have been excluded from these schools without following the proper procedures. I think we know a lot of things is not going good, and the community is too afraid and too reluctant to raise the issues. What can you tell those people?
Before that question, what can solicitors to help those troubled family he was talking about? Because the family can't afford to pay their fees, they can't represent themselves. So who are they gonna ask for help?
It's really sad because there is only so much anybody can do, and so everybody is going to be left to fend for themselves, unfortunately.
Yes.
If you can't pay the fees, then you can't get the representation, and nobody will want to put themselves on the record legally for anybody else, because then as a lawyer you become personally liable. So you're left in a very difficult situation where people are suffering and will suffer as a result of not having, not having legal aid. It's sad because our communities, when I say ours, I mean don't mean the Somalians, I mean the Asians, the ethnic minorities, etc. We don't raise our voice when these legal aid changes are coming into effect. Nobody says anything. Everybody's silent. And then, unfortunately,
it's just like the hospital closures now.
Yeah, it's a big price to pay.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's a lot of people who are suffering, and it's sad because we're getting a situation where those who can afford access to lawyers, have access to the courts, can get the remedies. Those who can't afford it, unfortunately,
access is
don't get
there.
access.
Yes,
and then in the ethnic minorities, you have the additional program of language.
What kind of advice you can give these kind of people? I mean, who are
where is the solution?
What is the solution?
The solution is to don't give up, and actually, if you can't get legal aid, you can't afford solicitors, go and do the applications yourselves.
Yeah.
But don't lose sight of your children. I think they're worth fighting for. Even if you can't speak the language, then let the court book an interpreter for you.
Well, just this social taboo and the fear that people who have cases but who are not able to come out and challenge those people who are winning. What is your advice to?
You're referring to the other lady's example you gave, who was refusing to instigate proceedings against the police officers.
Yes.
I don't think people should be afraid if there are legal grounds for proceedings to be issued, because you see, once we start being afraid, then we stop utilizing our rights and we stop getting the remedies, and there isn't going to be repercussions, because in this society you don't get officers coming in and beating you. You wouldn't get a situation like that. You won't get reprisals. you know, if you've done a case against police officers, you're not going to get reprisals against you. So those are important factors, because I think people think about back home, what happens.
Yes,
that's correct.
And they carry these stories with them into the new country.
Yes, but you see, people have to be aware that the system here is different.
Yes.
And I think the biggest thing is language barrier. Try to break down the language barrier.
Yes.
I try to, you know, to be able to converse in English if you can. Get to know the system, get to know your rights. And once you follow that path, because you're going to be living here, it benefits you. So if you don't do those things, the only person who's going to be a loser is going to be you.
Yeah,
for example, what's happening here in UK is a number of Somali families has been removed to their children. And now they're stuck. They don't have money to defend, you know, their legal aid. So the problem now, and some of them are afraid even to talk about the misery challenge they face from the social services.
No, there's a difference there. Let me correct this. There's two types of family law proceedings. You have what is called a private family law proceedings, which is where husband and wife have a dispute and they're fighting over the children.
The custody of
that's
the
different.
children.
That's different.
Yeah, that's different.
That's where you have difficulties with legal aid. But if you're talking about where the government,
the local authorities
had taken your children, you get legal aid.
Yeah, definitely.
You get legal aid to fight those cases. So you don't have a situation where the local authority takes your children and you don't have a right to legal aid. You get automatic legal aid.
Definitely.
Okay? So there's a big difference. And anybody who has a local authority who wants to take the children or intends to issue proceedings, or you know, the child is on the child protection register or anything like that, you can get advice and assistance, and if proceedings have been issued, you should qualify for legal aid.
Just one thing I would like to ask you regarding this. I think the number of children taken into care is over the last many years is 100,000, and I think what is happening in the family courts, issues are brought. I mean, it's the local authorities who have particularly taken the children, prepare cases, and almost with no consultation to the parents. And I think one of the most difficult situations family are going through is that medical professionals are asked to write reports about members of the families who are under the question mark, whose children are either being taken away or are on the road to be taken away. So I think one of the things I have come across to is a medical report written about members of a family without that doctor seeing them. So I think if you want to raise questions, legal questions, and fight against that kind of wrong representations made, what can we do? I think when the law is there and we all are law-abiding citizens, the application of the law to the people and sometimes can be applied wrongly. So I think police have a right to intervene, take children for if there is a question of safety, but the way they come into the house, how they speak to the people. Okay, these questions are raised across the nation. So,
okay, where any proceedings are issued for children's in respect of children and the local authority issuing the proceedings, that's a very, very detailed subject. So I'm going to try to summarize it, probably not doing too much justice to it, because I think if you want to speak about it, we need to spend time on it and speak about it properly. What you have to understand is police officers can come in if there is concerns about the child's welfare. Okay, they can do that. Social services can intervene if they believe that there is child welfare concerns. And you can have two things happening as a result of that. You can have the criminal proceedings and you can have the civil proceedings, which is something that people don't appreciate. Because what happens is there's an overlap. So you can have an interview taking, I'm going to explain the overlap, so give me a few minutes to do that. You can have what is called, if a parent or parents are being investigated, you can have what is called the criminal proceedings, where parents can be asked to attend either voluntarily or under arrest, with regards to neglect of a child or ABH or GBH or whatever the allegation may be in respect of the child. So you are, when you go to the police station, you get legal aid. So you don't have to worry about a solicitor, paying for a solicitor and their rights, etc. You are entitled to have a solicitor being present, represent you at the police station, etc.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, then you've got the other side where proceedings can be issued in the civil courts, where the local authorities say the threshold criteria has been met because there's concerns about the children and they want the child to be kept under foster care and until the court decides what is going to happen with the child or children of the family. So those are two different procedures, and you can have both going. You can have the case going on in the Crown Court, and you can have a case in the County Court. Yes. Or you can. They may not proceed with the criminal case, but they may carry on with the family case, the civil courts. In the civil courts. Now then, if any reports have been prepared, or any documents or information of that nature, what can happen is the parents, their lawyers, have legal aid. They can apply for extensions of legal aid to get medical reports. So if I have a client and my client says to me, I've read this medical report, I don't accept what this medical report says, I don't agree with X, Y and Z, and if I need to challenge the report, I can get my own expert's report to challenge that evidence. And you have to give, you see, the solicitor will be as good as the information you give to the solicitor.
It's important,
Yes, and parents have to participate. They've got to read the case papers and they've got to know what the case is about. And so what you've got to do is you've got to bear that in mind. So if you read the case papers, you can make appointments with your solicitor and go through the documents and say, I don't agree with this, I think this is the evidence, I think this evidence will show my innocence, etc.
So you can pick up the report and say, this is, I do not agree.
Let me hold you here. We have a call and I don't know what you want to. Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Where are you calling? Please tell her your names and what you want to say, please. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waay maxaa lagu yidhahdaa?
Magacayga waxaa la yidhahdaa Ifraax.
Waay Ifraax, maxaad doonaysaa inaad gabadha u sheegtid?
Waxaan doonayaa inaan weydiiyo gabadhan haddii aan carruurteeda kaxaysto oo aan shaqo anigu waddankiisa helo miyaanay ahayn wax liiga loo caadiyaan.
Yes. maxaa kale walaal weydiin lahayd?
Saasaan weydiin lahaa.
Haddii maxaa tiri noogu celi marka?
Haddaan waddankaygii shaqo ka helo.
Waddankaagii Soomaaliya? Waaye.
oo carruurteeda kaxaysto miyaana wax caadi ahayn.
Okay, she's asking you if she's a resident, and she said, if I take my children with me and go back to my country of origin, is that legally, isn't that legally?
No, it's illegal.
Something legally acceptable?
I think it's anything.
That's the question we'll tell you.
That's very difficult. I don't know whether sister she means, let me explain to her. If she's under the child protection, for example, some parents are under the child protection, so they can't go out of the UK without permission of the local authorities. I don't know whether she means that. But okay, if the question is this is illegal if I can get a job from back home, can I travel with my children?
Yes. Everybody has the right to travel and to take their children with them to their home country or wherever they may come to. However, there can be restrictions. For example, if the local authority have concerns that you may be taking your child to a country where there is war taking place.
Or GFM.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that happens a lot. I do get a lot of those types of cases where they think that the child may come to harm, or where they think that the child's welfare is going to be affected with forced marriages or you know, anything of that nature. So that's when you get restrictions being put onto you to travel with your children. So it's not you that will have the restrictions, it will be the child, that you cannot remove the child from the country, because it's the safety of the child that is important.
So what you're saying is legally the authorities can say, okay, listen, you are not taking this child because we have got these concerns.
Yes.
Okay, I got a very quick example. Hillingdon Council, I and this gentleman, we go around towns and villages and try to address the problems people have the best way we can. I have met a family, one of the best families. Children are lovely, parents are kind and caring, the family home is tidy and clean, food is everywhere. They have voluntarily sent some of their children to a safer part of Somalia, called it Puntland, where life is as vibrant as London and security is almost good. The social services have somehow involved in the life of that family, not concerning the children who left her. And the question came saying that we would like to we would like to have communications with the children back home in Somalia, and the family have been hassled. What can we do cases like that? Isn't not legitimate to chase and run after children who have been safely put in a country to learn more, to come back stronger?
Yeah, before we come back, let me take this call. Brother, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Where are you calling and what's your concern?
Assalamu alaikum. Waxaa ka soo waca Croydon.
Croydon walaal, ku soo dhawaay.
Magacayga waxaa la Cabdisalaan.
Waay Cabdisalaan, ku soo dhawo.
Waxaa weydiinaa lawyerka maalin hore waxaa dhacay xoogaa xaaskii aniga isku dhacnay. Waay. Marka booliska qolotiriska waxay socialka ayaa yimideen guriga. Waay. albaabka aniga ayadoo israactiisanayna albaabka soo xirmay, booliska albaabka furay. Marka socialka maalin walba weydii 2 mar ay noo yimaadaan. Waay. Waxayna by family lagu dhamay. Waay. Kiiskii booliska waa soo xirmay. Waay. Booliska marka kiiska soo xirnay u sheegnay arrintii ee xaaska wacday tiray waa heshiina ninkii socialkii oo wixii ARIMHA qoraalku wataa noo yimideen. xaaskayga waxay ku dhaad meel waxa lagu diraa oo dadka la abuse gareeyo, maskaxda laga abuse gareeyo ayaa training ugu diraa. anagana waxaa dhaanay markaa waa heshiinay, wax dhibo ma jiraan, weligeena markaan isdagaalnay mar dambana buuq ma dhacayo, qasab waa leedahay ayda training aad.
Okay, walaal adoo raaliya intee ku nooshahay?
Croydon u yiri London.
Croydon Soma. Okay, I just this gentleman is calling from Croydon and he's a family man. Arud walada Soma walaal.
Wallan u yiri.
Just with children. I think there was some sort of argument broke out between him and his wife, and then luckily there was intervention, but the family managed to sort out their differences traditionally. Means elders came and the issue has been successfully resolved. The police also dropped the case because there is nobody charging another person for anything. The social services are still adamant to squeeze themselves into the case, and they are saying we have to send the mother to a center which deals with people who have been emotionally abused. So I think isn't this too much?
Okay, let's
and they, what brother said as well, they visit the family twice. So have they got rights to do this?
Yes. The simple answer is yes. Let me try to explain why they do what they do. Even though husband and wife have made up, what social services do is they have concerns that there is fighting going on inside the house. And because mum and dad fight, this affects the children.
Yes.
And the children will then pick up the bad habits and use domestic violence as well. That's what social services think.
Let me correct you. Some families, they don't fight. They might have an argument.
Argument is, let's put it this way. When you're being abusive with each other, when you get angry with each other, it's not good for the children.
Yeah, definitely.
And so what social services say is, all right, there may not be a court case.
Yes.
There may not be anything like that, but they suspect in this case that mum
is being abused.
Mum is being abused.
Yes.
Father is dominant.
Yes.
And she is not speaking against the father.
Yeah,
so what they think is mum needs to go and get some help so that she can be independent and think separately from dad and to look after herself.
Yes.
So the social services become involved because they think there's violence going on, nobody wants to speak out, but the children can see what goes on. So children are suffering. But it's all hidden.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah.
That's why they behave like that. And then you can't say that because under the Human Rights Act, everybody has a protection under Article 8.
Okay.
Is under the Human Rights Act that the government should not, or any public body should not interfere in your family life.
Yes, definitely.
That is a protection given.
Yeah.
However,
still they do.
The exception is if there is concern about the welfare of the child, or somebody being oppressed, maybe emotional abuse taking place, then the government can intervene.
If the family life is not going the way it should normally go, then the intervention would occur.
وافهمت أمرنا ورالك كرويد نقصوا قبل وحيلات هاي واحد أكرت مرة كاركو ركويليين male dominance أما إلى يجوين ذات كده جوري مامولكي رأيك أضيجينه مرة البابا وجوري حكمه marka sida dalaada dawladdu u siinaysa awood bal iyada laftigeeda in maaragtay dhibaatadaas si ay u sheegato arintay u soo galeen social service waxa dhici karta bay tiri in caruurtu ay runtii dhibaato kala kulanto aabaha iyo hooyada inta ay murmayaan ama ay dagaalamayaan oo caruurtaas oo dhibaato xoog leh ka soo gaaray sida daraadeed waa inay iyagu soo galaan arinta saas ku dhaafina walaalka ayaa leen ku jira assalaamu calaykum waraxmatullaahi wabarakaatuh meesha naga soo ismaga walaal hello assalamu alaikum. I think we lost that caller.
Just what we have found out is that sometimes we get calls, and one of the things that happen is that we got a call from a family in one of the towns. The case is so sensitive that I don't want even to talk about the town. The child made an attempt to travel to the troubled region, Syria, Iraq, and the child was stopped at the airport. After that, the family started to have officers coming in on and off and questioning. And I think the problem at the moment is not the families dealing, officers dealing with the family, but there is a presence of a male officer in the house on daily basis. And if the concerned child who was stopped from going away goes to the toilet, the officer goes after and stands in front of the toilet. The family wrote to us and they spoke to us. Because we run an organization called United Voice and Partners, which advocates for the rights of the people. She said, we don't worry about anything other than this. We have got this situation where we lost our liberty, where we cannot stay inside our houses the way we should. So I think that would be the question.
I'll come back to you before she answered, Mudasar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Caller ya soo galay oo intayna hadlayna.
Alaykum salaam.
walaal maxaad doonaysaa inaad tiraahdo ama aad weydiiso looyarada insha Allah.
walaal waxaan weydiin lahaa aabihii shaqaysta ma lagu leeyahay welfare inuu caruurtiisa siiyo
aabihii shaqaysta
okay ku soo celi walaal aabihii shaqaysta
if the father works does he
got
rights to
caruurtiisa welfare miyay ku leeyihiin
caruurtiisa xaq ma ku leeyihiin inuu wax siiyo soo maha
is working does he right his children to receive a benefit
just she is saying
well the father is working
and the mother
says and aabaha shaqeeya caruurtiisa xaq ma loogu leeyahay inuu lacag siiyo soo maha walaal su-aashaada ku soo celi adigoo u gudbinaya mar labaad adoo naga raaliya
waxaan ku iri aabaha shaqeeya caruurta xaq ma ku leeyihiin wadankan
caruurtu ma xaq ma ku leeyihiin aabaha yes does the children have the rights to get money from their father
if he's
if
working
the father is working
okay so I assume
okay but he doesn't live
not living with
them and is not living with them I thought that may be the case if mum and dad are separate and the father works if mum gets benefits then mum can go to the child support agency and get money for the children. So the child support agency will then take money from the father and if he's self-employed then he has to give the money, but even if it's working they can get money from him. If he's not willing to give the money they can get the employer to take the money from the father's wages. So that's something you don't need to go and see a solicitor for. But it's a child support agency is the name. Child support agency.
Yes, definitely.
So hopefully that's answered your question.
If you have haddii aad leedahay ma u baahnid waxaan uma baahna inaad u tagto garyaqaan inaad u tagto ama loo raadsato waxa u baahan tahay child support agency haddii jiro aabe ilmo ka dhalay on kula nooleen oo tabaysi inuu shaqeeyo hay-addaas la xiriiraysaa kule waxay ku weydiin doonaan locationkiisa iyo meeshu ka shaqeeyo markaana xaqaagi waa lagaaga qaadaya saasay leedahay loo yarad
xataa haddii aw ceyr qaato waa looga jaraya haddii aw ceyr qaato xataa waa looga jaraya gabadha walaashaas inay intaas ku ekaataan jecla ma fahamto
hay walaalaha
thank you
okay I think let's come back to the point you have got a situation where your loved son or daughter without your knowledge or consultation attempted to go to a troubled region. Luckily somehow they have been stopped, sent back, then involvement started. I think children are now taken away from their families because of this. I heard.
Okay, what happens is it depends on the age of the child and why the child's been taken away. That's quite drastic for the child to be taken away. If the parents didn't know about it.
They didn't know, but they used the mother's card. So
even if they use the mother's card, they must suspect then the parents may know about it.
Yes.
So that's why they're taking the children away because they think maybe the parents knew but didn't want to say anything.
Yes.
So now that's the case, then yes, I can understand why they would be taking such a drastic step. But what you've said to me about a police officer, if the girl goes to the toilet, the police officer stands outside, I'm quite shocked at that.
Yeah.
Because that is not how they behave. And I really would be astonished if somebody is getting away with behaving like that.
Yeah, definitely. I have to hooyadii nala soo xiriirtay magaalooyinka UK kamida nagala soo xiriirtay caruurteedu isku dayeen inay baxaan haddana ay u suurtageli weysa laakiin noo sheegtay in dhibaatooyin ay haystaan in guriga loo dhex fadhiyo looyaradu waxay leedahay waaba shoog garoobay in dabeecad noocaasi ay jirto marka la soo xiriir looyaradan insha Allah oo ah looyarad leading lawyer ah looyarada ugu waaweyn UK oo terrorist maaragtay suspectiska iyo terrorismka ka qayb qaadatay mathashena kaysaska waaweyn oo kaysaska ku soo caan baxday uu kamid yahay Abu Hamza Sheikh Abu Hamza Finsbury Park kaysaska iyo Guantanamo prisonerski iyo dad badan marka looyaradu waxay leedahay I'm quite shocked to know that kind of behavior exists marka magacaaga ma sheegayno laakiin waa nala soo xiriirtay waan ka danqanaynaa in gurigu kugu dhex jiro officer baawarkan cid siisa aan la garanayn marka nala soo xiriir.
There's other problems like IPP. I don't know whether you know that is indefinitely public protection. Some people has been sentenced 10 months and now they overstay in prison over 10 years. Simply they have been legalized that they are not normal people. So the government or the local authority or the what can I say, the legal has to keep this person into the prison. So what advice you can give people like that?
Gosh, I think you've got to look at each individual case as it is. I mean, I've dealt with cases where my clients were subjected to the same conditions where we successfully appealed that in the Court of Appeal. So I think you've got to look at each individual case and see if there is any grounds of appeal and to take that matter further.
For example, if somebody shoplifting or trying to rob someone,
they shouldn't get that. They shouldn't have.
I think what I would like to say in order to add to this, we have a gentleman called Sharmarka Awad. He has been imprisoned for 10 months and 2 weeks. But he stayed nearly 8 years. 8 years in. He's one of those 6,500 prisoners in jail under this title. I have heard that the European Court of Human Rights have abolished this sentence. I and this gentleman managed to collect signatures from hundreds of brothers and sisters, and we luckily submitted a petition to Chris Grayling during a televised, Radio 5 debate on the dedicated for the election. I think the May election, parliamentary election. So I think until today, because Chris Grayling went out of the politics, he lost his seat in his own constituents. The case is there. We also have a gentleman whose mother contacted us. We paid a visit to the prison, I and Duale. The gentleman is also has done minor crimes. He tried to rob people, and I think he has been kept in jail longer than what the judge recommended. I think all these cases are all over the place. What we wanted, can we relate to you these cases, and are you going to take them aboard and help these worried families and their sons?
I can't say I can take every single case on or anything like that. You have to look at each case individually.
Yes.
Getting legal aid in the Court of Appeal is difficult.
Yes.
And so it is going to be a long process, and they original solicitors who have dealt with the matter should be the ones who should advise them on the appeal procedures.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they're the ones who know the case better than anybody else. Because nowadays you don't get legal aid for the appeal unless you can show grounds. So the best people to show grounds are the ones who actually originally did the case.
Yes.
And they're the ones who should be fighting for them. So, put the onus on them to fight for them.
Yeah, but sometimes, what is, the prisoners themselves, before they are released, they have to, they are entitled to some kind of trainings that would make life easier for them and convince authorities that these persons can be sent back and rehabilitated back into the community. If these kind of things are not given to the prisoners themselves, and they have the relationship between the inmate and his officer, and probation officer isn't good, I think the chances are less likely.
What you've got to do is you've got to cooperate, and you've got to be seen that you've changed.
Yeah.
So the underlying rule is that you should show that you're not a threat.
Yeah.
That if you're released, you're not going to be a threat to the public at large. And if you can pass that test, that threshold, you shouldn't have a problem from getting a good probation report.
Yes.
And if that probation report shows that you're not a risk to the public at large, and that you're not going to commit a further offence, you shouldn't have any problems.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have the last caller before we end this program. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Where are you calling? What's your name?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Ay ku soo dhawaad.
Magacayga wax.
Magaca waa maxay?
Waan ku dhawaad walaal. Magacayga Saara Cabdilaahi alaynaha.
Way Saar maxaad u sheegaysaa looriyada walaal?
waxaan rabaa inaan ku su'aalo haddaad aqoon u leedihiin ama in kale ma garanayo laakiin aniga ila soo gudboonaatay xagga social
way
marka aniga iyo wiilal ilmo u dhalaan isqabanay kadib booliiska ugu yeeray kadib way xireen way soo deeyeen maxkamad la maray aan dhahay booliiska arrintii way xireen social ay soo daba dhigtay
way
marka waxay leeyihiin
waa ku maqlaynaa
meesha dagaal ka dhacay iyo sidaa waa safety ma aha sidaasaan idinku soconaynaa hadda meesha wax weyn oo barbalayna ma dhicin marka saasay ii daba taageen
adiga inuu kula joogaa marka intaada ka bixin mase wuu tagay
wuu ila joogaa waxay ku haystaa waxay leeyihiin ma ku dilay wuu i dilaan dhaa booliiska ayagana waxay leeyihiin ma ku dilay asaga wuxuu yidhi ma dili
I think there is this mother.
Okay, well,
there was a fight between the caller and her partner. I think the police were called in, and I think but after a while, they have forgiven each other and they wanted to carry their lives forward. Social services are not letting the family alone. Another question.
So what is that? What is the solution?
Okay. You've got to show to social services that you are able to protect yourself, and if you've got your children in the event if they say, I assume they say that your husband uses violence, and if you can show that you can protect yourself and your children, even if it means taking out an injunction against him, even if it means taking steps to exclude him from the house, or to even instigate criminal proceedings. That's what they're looking at. Because social services will continue to be involved, as I explained earlier on, if they think that there's domestic violence going on and the children can suffer.
gabadhu waxay ku leedahay haddii aabbaha iyo hooyada isqabtaan social service waxay u malaynayaan in caruurtu ay dhibaato gaarayso runtiina halka xanuun ka soo gaarayo inta ayaan ku ekeynayna insha Allah qofka labaad ayaanu qabsanayna insha Allah qof labaad ayaanu soo wacay weesha naga soo wacay magaca walaal hello assalaamu calaykum
wa calaykum salaam waxaan rabaa walaal qoladan telefonadiina u baahnaa Gurmad
okay shashada insha Allah hadii kale waxaad soo wici doontaa eber 7 barnaamij kadib ayaad ka dhageysan kartaa hadii kale qoro waa eber 7 haddana weyso waxaad soo wici kartaa stuudiga hadii kalena shashada ayaad ka daawanaysaa his brother who called last
just one thing I would like to highlight is that this is not an advert program for MUDASAR, Sister MUDASAR Arani. I think we are honored to have one of the most outstanding lawyers in the country on the platform tonight. She would, according to her ability, would be contributing to the empowerment of the community, and we are very thankful of her to be with us. She's one of the leading UK lawyers and very well known for defending inmates in Guantanamo Bay and elsewhere, and it's a great honor to have her here. walaalayaal barnaamijkani ma aha dacaayad loo sameynay cidnana laakiin waxa weeye looyarooyinka ugu waaweyn wadankan ee ku soo caan baxay difaacidda dadka maxbuusiinta ah ee ku jira Guantanamo iyo dholal kale ayaa macnaha cawada sharafno ay halkan nala joogto waxaana u keenay empowerment of the community in communityga loo awood siiyo inay xaqoodu istaagaan inay dacwoon karaan cid kasto dambi ka gasha.
Thank you very much. I would like to remind our viewers بريتو waxaan la kulmi doonaa Andrew Slaughter oo ah MB-ga Hanislow sorry Hammersmith and Fulham marka 11 subaxnimo xaafadan Hammersmith agteeda kula kulmi doonaa Charing Cross Station haddii aad ka timaado anywhere marka haddii ay guryaha wax aad ka qabaan hamis midan fulan ama caruur ay ka dhibaataysan tahay ama wax kale berito 11 ayaad halkaan uga kulmi doontaa waxay ka soo xiri kartaan eberto 956 ama numberkii halkaa ku qoran Gurmad aad ka soo gali karaysaan haddaad rabtaan waxaad soo weydiin karaysaan studio laftigiisa. I would like to thank to all of you, our viewers, and those who put a question to the brother and the sister. We would like to have you another time and to explain more things because we have a huge problem in the Somali societies, and we would like somebody, a professional from the legal side. So good to have you tonight.
And her company.
Her company, inshallah, we will get chance. So can you explain where is your contact?
How can people get in touch with you if they have problems?
Oh, okay. I'm based in Southall, and the firm is called Arani Solicitors. It's at 43A South Road, Southall. So it's in the heart of this area. And the telephone number is for the office is 0208 893 5000. 5,000.
Yeah, definitely.
And so if anybody has any difficulties or needs some advice, by all means they're welcome to ring us and we'll try to see what we can do to assist.
عادي waxaad tiri inta waxaad ka heli karaysaan telefonkan oo 028 893 5000 waa 500 ama anaga nala soo xiriira haddaanu nahay bahda Kalsan runtii aad iyo aad baan uga mahad celinayaa daawadayaasha qiimaha leh waxaan kaloo halkaan uga mahad celinayaa bahda Kalsan runtii barnaamijka ugu talagashay inay bulshada maaragtay ay mar walbaba ay wax ugu qabato khaasatan Xasan Duraan oo ah abuurihii barnaamijkan Gurmad isaga nala soo xiruntii aad iyo aad baan ugu mahad celinaa markaas in kasoo ilmaano
haddii aad wixii legal cases iyo problemyo aad isleedahay looyarda kula xaliso waxa la soo xiriiri kartaa sida ducaale sheegay oo kale United Voice and Partners oo nabradooda heli kartaan kiisaskii idinka xog baday waxaan u gudbinaynaa looyarada iyo teamkeeda insha Allah
aad iyo aad baad mahadsantahay daawadayaal inta ayaan barnaamijka ku soo gabagabaynaynaa farsamo yaqaanadeeda gadaasha iyo fadhiya cadaawe iyo boocame runtii aad iyo aad baan uga mahad celinayaa daawadayaasha qiimaha intiina soo wacday iyo inta barnaamijka naga qaybqaatay waa anigoo ducaala waxaan idinkaga tagaa insha Allah intayna xaddana kulmi doono assalaamu calaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh